In today's video, we're going to be watching different ways on how you should not be spending your money. Got water today. Still good.
This might be the worst financial situation I've ever seen. How are we going and spending $225 on just Chick-fil-A? Why are we doing that? But we're just not simply making a minimum monthly payment on a card. You have chosen Chick-fil-A over dealing with the bills that you have signed up to pay. Do you not care?
I do care. Like before I really combed through my finances, I was like, well, I'll be honest, I guess I didn't care. But now over the last few months, I'm like, where is all this money like going?
So if you didn't care before, I'm curious, like, what has made you?
Graduating college and realizing, can't survive on my own and my parents aren't going to help me forever.
Okay, you started wanting to change after graduation. This was your most recent statement, though. So this just happened. We were just like, nah.
I was spending every last dime on like gas. Like every day I was like filling up.
I can sympathize with that if we didn't just look at the statement through the same exact time of you just around and spending money on $250, which you had a minimum monthly payment of $40. You could have paid that.
I could have. I chose to ignore it.
There it is.
Hey, listen. I get it. Chick-fil-A's pretty damn good. But you gotta pay at least your minimum payment on your credit card before you go spend over $200 in Chick-fil-A. I'm just saying. Now, I love the show that Caleb puts on. There's a lot of good content that he puts out. And I wanted to include this because I feel like this is a very relatable situation that a lot of people are in. You get to the end of the month, it's time to pay your bills, and you simply can't afford it, or you just choose to ignore the fact that you have the bills that need to be paid. But from the beginning of the month, you've gone ahead and spent all the money that you've wanted to. Chick-fil-A, maybe a couple cocktails, whatever you like to spend your money on throughout the month. This is what happens. You spend every single dollar, or you're putting it on the credit card, and when it comes down to it, time to pay your monthly bill, you simply don't have enough in checking in order to pay that bill off. Now, I would say that's a pretty shitty financial situation to be in. You get to the end of the month, and you simply don't have enough cash to pay your bills. No one wants to live like that. Now, guys, if you're also finding yourself in that situation, or maybe you're not, maybe you do have a little bit of cash to your name, but you're still having troubles on figuring out what you need to do financially to get ahead. Now, I know that managing money can sometimes feel a little overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be, thanks to Fearless Finance. Fearless Finance is a game changer for anyone looking to take control of their finances without the stress, high fees, and long-term commitments that come with traditional financial advisors. They offer affordable, accessible financial advice with a simple approach. You only pay for the time you use hourly, down to the quarter hour. No more paying for services you don't need. What I love about Fearless Finance is that they meet you where you are in your financial journey. Whether you're trying to tackle student loans, save for a house, or just ensure your finances are in good shape, they've got you covered. And the best part, you're working with a real human planner. No bots, no algorithms, just personalized advice tailored to your needs. Plus, Fearless Finance is woman-owned and their planners are fiduciaries, meaning they're legally bound to put your interests first. There's no minimum net worth requirement because they're not managing your assets. They're helping you manage your life. So if you're ready to make smarter financial decisions without the headaches, make sure you check out Fearless Finance. The link is in my description below. I'll also have a pinned comment for you as well. Trust me, your future self will thank you.
My demons was gambling.
And that's a motherfucker.
I don't know if you've ever heard this. I think that's the worst addiction out there.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
Why?
It's the only one you can win in.
It's fucking true though, bro.
It's the only
That's
one.
fucking-
It's
I've never heard that.
Yo, think about it, right? It's the
Yeah.
only one where if I hit the roulette table right now,
Yeah.
there is a chance I could take them for a couple $1,000s. And then I'm like, oh shit, I got my rent, I got my bills, I could go buy sneak, I could do all this shit. But then there's also I could hit that table and lose everything. And then I hit the ATM and I lose everything. But it's the only one where you've seen a positive out of it. For a lot of people, financial is like the biggest indicator for people's happiness and their stresses. Like, bro, I used to have my own demons with like mental health stuff and being depressed and all that. And man, I'm not exactly balling out of control. Like I still have to budget my money, but now that I am making money, like, I don't have those problems anymore. And
Gambling, that's some dangerous stuff right there, guys. When I lived in Florida, sports gambling was legal, and I would bet on some games every now and then, but then you get into the parlays, and you're like, okay, well, now I can win a little bit bigger. And then you do a little bit bigger parlays, and you win a couple under your belt. The problem is the gambling space and the gambling industry has grown massively over the past few years because of the changes that we've had legally in the United States. With the legalization of sports gambling and people be exposed and having a lot easier access to gamble because of our phones and the new apps that are coming out, it's a very, very slippery slope. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say you can never gamble. Like, I like to play blackjack every now and then. I like to bet on a sports game whenever I can. It's fun. It is. It's entertainment you're paying for. But when that problem comes is whenever it stops being entertainment. You know, if you're doing this a lot more than you know you should be, and you're like, oh, I got to get back to break even, or oh man, if I can earn these next few $1,000s I lost, and then I promise I'll stop, and then you maybe, let's say you even win, or worst case, you keep losing and you keep trying to win more. That is where you can get yourself and your family into some very, very big trouble. For those of you that are gambling right now, make sure you're doing it responsibly. Make sure you're using it as money that you can lose 100%. And I'm going to say this, if you are in debt and you're trying to, get ahead financially, the last thing you should be doing is gambling your money that should be going towards your debt. Because let me tell you this, when you gamble, there's a chance you're going to lose. When you put that money towards debt, that is a guaranteed return on that money. For example, let's say you have a credit card and the interest rate currently is 24%. When you pay down the balance of that credit card, every dollar you're putting towards that credit card is a 24% return on that money. That's a very large percentage for a return on dollar bills. So obviously paying off credit card debt is nowhere near as fun as gambling. Trust me, I get it. Like I said, I like to gamble every now and then. Especially got a few cocktails. I'm at the casino with the wife. We got a nice little date night. I'll throw some money on blackjack. Hit them and split them, baby. But when I go to the casino, if I have a $100 bill with me, I know I'm done if I lose that $100. And maybe it'd be 5 minutes, or maybe it lasts me, a couple hours. I know whenever that $100 is gone, or I like to tell myself if I've doubled my money, I quit. If I double my money in 5 minutes, I'm done. I'll order a couple drinks, let the wife do her thing, which she don't really gamble at all, so we usually leave and go grab something to eat. But be careful with gambling. It's very, very dangerous.
I don't want to pay off my debt. Now, hear me out. I know that sounds crazy, but that's not what I'm most interested in, because you are not.
Me neither, honey. I wasn't interested in it either.
Promise tomorrow. We have no idea what this life's going to hold for us. What I want to do is I want to do something. I'm a mom. I want them to have the most amazing childhood. I want to take my kids to Disney. That's what I want to do. I would rather take them to Disney than pay off my debt. And I know that sounds crazy. It does. But I want to live in the here and the now. So all it takes is you watching this video for 5 seconds. And I also realize it'd be crazy. I'd literally need millions of qualified views to make this happen. But if you're a mother and you can relate, or anyone, please like and share this video and engage with this video. That would mean the world to us. That would be so amazing. That would be such a gift to be able to take my kids this summer.
First, I respect the hustle, girlfriend. Like, trying to make some money on TikTok, trying to get your audience to engage. As a fellow content creator, I get the hustle. But on the other side of things, going into debt for a trip, especially Disney of all places. Took my kids to Disney a couple times when we lived in Florida. And don't get me wrong, it's magical. The kids had a great time. There's some cool feelings and stuff that go on there at the park. But I literally look to my wife whenever there's thousands of people in front of me and I'm wanting to run over ankles because people don't know how to walk in the park and they keep cutting me off when I'm trying to walk. I look at my wife and I was like, how in the hell do people go into debt for this? Like, I get it. Disney's fun. It's fun. But, and I know everybody has their own ideas of fun. I get it. But I would never, in my wildest dreams, go into debt for a trip. I would never do it. Now, I hear the argument all the time about, well, we never know when our day here is going to be on our last, so might as well have fun while we're here. I get it. I get that, and I sympathize with that. I understand that thought process, but let me flip that on the other end here real quick. Let's say you do live here for another 50 years, and you continue to live those 50 years out with that mindset, meaning I'm going to spend my money, I'm going to take my debt, I'm going to live the life that I want to live, and just kind of, that's it. You will never, ever get ahead in life with that mentality, financially. When you take control of your finances, when you say, hey, let's meet these goals first, hit XYZ before we do, the treat, in this case, going to Disney. When you can actually withstand from spending the money, do what you're supposed to do with that money, put it in an emergency fund to build up your cash reserves for a rainy day or for when you lose your job, or maybe you still have a lot of debt you're attacking and you pay off that debt. Do this. Use those milestones to reward yourself. So say you're in $50,000 worth of debt. And when you pay off, I would make a goal to myself if I was in that predicament that whenever I paid off 50% of my debt, I'm also going to be putting a little bit of money away for a trip to celebrate when we get halfway. Reward yourself for getting ahead. So when you pay off that 50% of the debt you have left over, take yourself on a nice trip. Reward yourself. And then know when you get back, it's game time again and let's crush the 25%. Or even better, save the trip until you finish off paying off the debt completely. But I was a fan of, as we were moving along, we would do like little steak dinners here and there. My wife and I loved to go out to eat. And when we were on our debt payoff journey, we would take ourselves out when we'd hit a new milestone. Like, we pay off another 10 grand or whatever it was. We'd say, all right, steak dinner tonight. Let's go celebrate. It was like a motivator. So that's a very important detail of when you have the mindset of like, okay, well, I may not be here in a few years, so I want to enjoy life now. I get it. But why not want to set yourself up financially so you can enjoy your life for the rest of the time you're on this earth? And if you're here for 50 years, you have 50 years to enjoy that. Living a financially responsible type life. I'm telling you, when your money is in order, life is so much easier. You still get curveballs, I get that. I still have stuff that pops up every now and then. But seriously, when you have no debts, cash in the bank, and making the right decisions and investing for your future, things tend to be easier. They do. It's just, you still have stresses and whatnot, but overall, it's pretty nice.
So it was my birthday a couple of weeks ago and I went to Rome for the weekend and I came back with not one, but 2 Louis Vuitton bags. I can't afford this lifestyle, first of all. I am very much in debt now, but it was my birthday, so I was like, treat yourself. Plus, I got the tax refund, so I was like, I've got to. So this is the first one. Look how bougie the box is. Ooh. Just no words. Look at this. It looks 3D. I saw it and I was like, you're coming home. So I am probably going to end up having to sell one of them because I just don't need 2 of the same bags in different colours. I can't afford that, first of all.
So, no, you should not go in debt to go on a Disney trip. But, hell no, should you go into debt for a Louis Vuitton bag. 2 of them. At the worst. Okay, so we got a little bit to unpack here in this video, but I'll make it quick. The first one, she says she spent some of her tax refund, or she got a tax refund, so she wanted to spend some money, and she bought herself 2 Louis Vuitton bags. Listen, guys, if you can afford bags, you can afford the nice Louis Vuitton bags, I don't think that's a bad thing. Like, if you can afford to purchase that, and you're still investing, you're still paying off, you're still debt-free, and that's what you want to spend your money on, that's what makes you happy, do that. Go buy the bag. There's nothing wrong with that. Here's the problem that's wrong, is when you're going into debt to buy stuff like this that's overpriced brand that's making someone else rich, it's not helping you at all, except showing off a nice expensive bag you have. Like, go get a fake one. Because I'll be honest with you, majority of the time when you're walking around, nobody's checking if that purse you have on your arm or on, laying over your shoulder is real or not. Just buy the fake one for like $20 and, or I don't know how much fake Louis Vuitton bags are, 50, I don't know. Do that. Like, is the value really there to spend that money? Because I always see people, when they resell the purses, they're much cheaper than whenever they bought it, because you're not going to pay what you bought at the store. But spending money on these handbags, like, and I can't even imagine what those purses cost. Multiple hundreds of dollars, maybe even in the thousands for 2 of them. And if you already can't afford that, oh my gosh. That's the problem, guys. Like, and then you see all these videos of like people complaining and whatnot. I just want to make it straight. Like, if you can afford to buy a purse, buy a purse. Do it. I don't care. But I mean, I could afford to buy my wife a Louis Vuitton bag, which she don't really care about that stuff. Thank God. But if she wanted something like that, I know my wife would rather have a fake one because she would not want to spend the money on a brand name that has somebody else's last name on it. I just don't get it. I do not get the whole luxury brand name deal thing. I don't know. Here's the other part of this video that I want to bring up with material type items is a lot of times after, like, for example, this girl, let's say she gets rid of the one purse, she has the blue one, she wears it out for a couple months or maybe has it for a year, and then after a year, it's just another everyday purse. It's not, that newness factor wears off. The same thing when you buy a brand new car. You go buy that brand new car, maybe in like after the first 6 months, you're like, oh, you open it, you get that new car smell, it feels good driving down the road, but after 6 months, 12 months, it's just another car. And then a new model comes out and you're looking at that one and you're like, oh, my car doesn't have that. My car doesn't offer this. I want this. I want that. I want these extras. It's a never-ending cycle. Never-ending cycle. When you can switch your mindset to stop focusing on materialistic items, you're one, not only going to save a shit ton of money, but two, you're going to be able to live a better life financially because you have this much extra capital you're keeping now to invest for your future and your freedom.
I bought a PS5 and a 4K 240 hertz HD monitor, and I didn't drive for 9 weeks, and I played video games for 9 weeks.
Oh no!
And I went through my whole 401k. My 401k is gone. It's gone. And so then I realized I need to start driving.
Why didn't you at least stream it? Why didn't you at least stream it for 9 weeks and try to get some tips and donations?
Because
now, unlike when you stream, there's all these different areas you can stream on too.
well, I don't have a webcam anymore. I didn't have the.
Okay, I think if we went and
I don't have a
dropped,
I don't have a computer anymore. I don't have a gaming computer anymore. So it's just too many factors.
But if you had a computer,
well, honestly,
you can stream from PlayStation these days.
you can. You can.
Okay, you're an excuse. Just bundle of excuses. Sure, whatever. Great.
Well, I don't know if I would call it that. I would just.
Well, you just tried to make 1,000 excuses why, and they're probably none of them are valid. If you can go spend on a PlayStation 5 and all that, and you can stream from your PlayStation, you could have got a $25 webcam, and you could have been streaming.
Yeah, but you got to make it look good. You got to make it look good.
You
though.
do, but you could have at least been trying. So you literally drained your 401k, sat on your ass for 9 weeks playing PlayStation. What are you even playing? At least let it be something good.
Yeah, I replayed the.
It's a replay. It's not even a new play.
Well, Last of
What'd
Us.
you replay?
Okay, I replayed the remake of Last of Us 1.
Okay, all right.
Last of Us 2 that they upgraded for.
Okay, Payday Loan.
Hey, Payday Loans.
Guys, if there's one thing you take from this video, please never, ever drain money and take money out of your 401k to go buy a freaking PS5 and a monitor. Oh my gosh. Do you know when you pull money out of your 401k, it's like taking a 30% interest loan or something like that? Because you're taking the money out, you're paying taxes, you're paying a penalty fee for pulling the money out early. For our retirement accounts, for my wife and I, we try to max out our retirement accounts every single year. When we do that, I told my wife that money is gone. We will not touch that money until we turn 59 and a half years old. I will not touch it. That money has a job, and its job is to fund my retirement in the future. And if you're taking out money of your 401k for a gaming console, here's the thing. I do want to make another point that Kayla mentioned. If you guys have a hobby and you're looking for, some ways to make extra money, make content. I'm serious. It's probably one of the best ways people can stir up a nice little side hustle. Now, you have to put in a lot of work for no pay for a bit, but if you're going to be doing the hobby already, why wouldn't you just record yourself and try to stir up a little bit of a following? And if it's on Instagram, you're doing short form content or TikTok, whatever it may be, and you're posting over here on YouTube as well, You may get a little couple dollars in ad revenue. You may strike a nice brand deal with a certain company in that space that you're already using. Like, there are ways you can take advantage of the hobby you're doing, because if you have a hobby you're currently out there that you'd like to focus on or do, I guarantee you someone else is on the internet searching for someone doing that same hobby. That's a challenge for, if you're watching this right now and you're kind of struggling with some income and you're like, I just don't know what to do. I got my job. I work 40 hours, 50 hours a week, but I could really use an extra 100, 200 bucks a month. Make some content on your hobby. Do you game? Stream. If you like to golf, start making shorts of your golf games. Every time you're out to golf, every time you go golf, make a piece of content. Or try to make 5 pieces of content while you're golfing and then post them throughout the week or until you go to your next golf outing. If you like working on cars, whenever you're working on cars, teach people how to fix things on cars. I'm telling you, it's literally the best thing people can do right now for a side hustle, because you get to work on your own terms, you have your own hours, you're not relying on anyone but yourself to film and post the content. So if you need the extra money, why not do that? It's a great idea. Like, I'm telling you, my hobby was talking about money, and I luckily have been able enough to make this my full-time job. I was able to quit my job in 2020 and do YouTube full-time, and the schedule and the freedom I have is so worth it. Now, there's a lot of ups and downs that come with creating content, but for the most part, it's an amazing opportunity that I'm so lucky to have, that whenever I talk to people about it, they don't even understand. A lot of people in my personal daily lives, they have no idea you could even make money from just creating content. So I highly recommend, guys, if you're looking for some extra income, don't borrow from your 401k. But if you have a hobby, make content on it. So there you have it, guys. Those are some ways you should not be spending your money. Pay your bills on time. Focus on paying off your debts. Put some money away for a rainy day fund. And make sure you're still investing for the long term. You want to be investing for your financial freedom that we all want on this planet. And know this, when your finances are in order and in check, life just seems to be better. That's all I got. Cheers, guys.